A solitary elephant is a biological marvel. 5 tons of muscle striding through dense jungle, projecting absolute physical power. Then it steps into a snare meant for a goat. The geometry of the small trap halts a creature thousands of times its size. Brute force ails against the ropes. The elephant stops struggling and is gripped by fear. This diagram illustrates the necessary shift in strategy. The animal stops acting physically and starts broadcasting. It sends out a localized distress signal to pull in backup. As this model shows, a second elephant arrives almost instantly. The local mass has now doubled. To survive an environment like this, the animal must abandon the attempt to solve the problem alone and immediately use its vulnerability to establish a community. Now, a pair, they wade into a deep river. Here, 10 tons of combined weight is a liability. They sink into the riverbed, and the moving water traps them. As the water rises, they repeat the signal protocol. A third elephant enters them at work. They manage to escape the water, only to walk directly into a human-made threat, the hunter's cage. They are no longer fighting blind geography. They are staring at a hunter, and the fear shifts from drowning in nature to being actively targeted. In this state of high tension, they broadcast a fourth signal, pulling a fourth elephant into the fold. Adding elephants one by one is struggling to keep pace with human ingenuity and extreme terrain. The linear increase in physical mass is meeting its match. After escaping the cage, a simple mud pit drops all 4 animals into the dirt. They look down at their own mud-caked forms in the wet earth. Seeing themselves grounded and immobile triggers a new wave of panic, not from an external predator, but from the realization that they are stuck. They send out one last call for help. This visualization maps the final state of the herd. A 5th elephant arrives, completing the circuit. The network has hit its mathematical limit, organizing into a stable system. Reaching this capacity stabilizes the group. They possess the collective momentum needed to pull themselves out of the mud and begin the journey toward home. The 5-node herd marches homeward. Then they hit a spider's web. 25 tons of mammalian muscle is halted by strands of silt. The physical scale of the herd is now so large that this microscopic obstacle is a mathematical absurdity. This time, the cycle breaks. There is no fear and no call for backup. The spider surveys the 5 massive animals caught in her net. Faced with this overwhelming mass, the tiny predator's instinct completely gives way to the sheer ridiculousness of the situation. The spider dismantles her own trap. The herd's accumulated size has neutralized the threat by making the very idea of a trap impossible. Now free, the herd engages in a kinetic release. The animals stomp and dance, moving together in synchronized play. The distress signal created a network that allows them to move through the world not as 5 individuals, but as a single unit. They have built a community where they can finally play.